everyone, this is Neetha from Buttercream Petals Cake Art School. Today we are going to start a new series known as Color Combinations That Work. In this series, I am going to show you quick ideas on easy color combinations that work in cake decorating. We all love pink, I certainly do, so let's learn how to style a pink cake easily. Cake decorating techniques doesn't have to be too complicated. Even with the most minimalistic designs with simple techniques, a cake can look absolutely stunning if you choose the color combinations wisely. Everyone knows that red and green is a classic complementary color combination. We see a lot of this color combination in Christmas cakes, for example. But if you tone down your red color, you get a reddish pink tone. And if you tone down your dark green color, you get a brighter green tone. So we are going to use these two color combinations first. We are going to use white buttercream as a base for this design. As you can see, I am demonstrating this design on a cake board, but you can replicate this exact same process on top of a full cake or even on a cupcake. You don't have to worry about smoothing the cake to perfection for this design to work. Simply use a palette knife and gently stroke it horizontally from side to side to get this nice ruffled look for the top of your cake. Let's start with our design now. The first step is to pipe our flowers. I am using a Wilton 104 nozzle here, and I have some bright pink buttercream in the piping bag. I have used Color Mill Raspberry color to achieve this shade of buttercream. The first step is to pipe a ring of buttercream, and that is going to be the size of our flower. The ring of buttercream gives a bit of height to our flower and also acts as a guide circle, so we can pipe our flowers comfortably on top of this ring. The first step is to pipe our ruffled curved petals. Please bear in mind that the wider end of the nozzle should be facing inwards and the narrow end of the nozzle is facing outwards. Now we are going to pipe our second layer of petals, and again the wider end of the nozzle should slightly point to the center of our flower, and we are going to flare out our petals so we get nice ruffled curved petals all around the flower. Let's pipe the flowers once more. The first step is our ring of buttercream to form the height of the flower. And the next step is we are going to pipe our curved, ruffled petals. Always make sure that the narrow end of the nozzle is facing outwards and the wider end of the nozzle is facing inwards. The wider end of the nozzle gives a good base for our petals. That's why we have it in the center of our flower. And the narrow end of the nozzle should always face outwards because that is where the petal flares out nice and thin. After piping the second layer of petals, we can add a third layer of petals for this flower. This is simply because all the flowers wouldn't look exactly the same and it is more realistic looking then. So for this I am attaching small petals in the center of the flower. And now we can pipe some free-flowing petals on top of our cake. The next step is to pipe the middle of our flower. Let's use a piping bag with some uncolored buttercream in it and with a small hole cut at the end, and all we are trying to do now is to pipe the little dots in the middle of the flower. This is a beginner-friendly tutorial. Even if you have never piped a flower before, this technique is something that you can try confidently. I hope you will try this design. And you can add more flowers as well to this particular design. We have piped 2 flowers and left at that. But you can actually pipe a lot of these flowers on top of a cake and it will look really pretty as well. This is our signature buttercream recipe that I am using to do this entire design. You can learn our signature buttercream making in our online school, www.buttercreampetals.com. The next step is to add our leaves. I am using a Wilton 352 leaf nozzle here, and I have some lime or bright green colored buttercream in the piping bag. I have used Color Mill lime color to achieve this shade of buttercream. So if you don't have this particular shade, you can easily mix in some yellow to your normal green buttercream to achieve this bright tone of shade. When you pipe the leaves, remember to position the nozzle in such a way that the pointy side of the nozzle is touching the cake ever so lightly. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial where we experimented with a new color combination as well as we learned a new technique. If you haven't already signed up, you can check out our website www.buttercreampetals.com where you can get free sample tutorials from our online school. See you next time. Until then, bye.